So I wanted to share with you my understanding of Akedat Yitzchak this year. As you know, every year it's a new story. Every year we can find deeper and deeper gems of Torah, different layers to our Torah. That's why we still learn it, the same exact words. And that's the beauty of the infinity of the Torah and its code and what we can learn from it. So the way I understand this year is, what was Avram's ultimate test? First of all, we have to know that there are 10 tests, right? Avram had 10 tests, says Chazal. Why 10 tests? Why not 5, 8, 12, 100? The reason is because every human being is going to have to go through those 10 tests. But why? Because there are 10 main energies in the world. The world, God created the world with 10 sfirot, with 10 lights, 10 qualities. And when Adam Arishon sinned, because the week was supposed to be 10 days, a 10-day week, which 10 represents the perfection. When we have completed those 10 steps, we reach God fully. 10 represents the 10 parts of man. 3 correspond to the head, 7 to the body. And when we're able to complete those 10 and fix those 10, then we're able to be one with God. So Abraham had 10 tests. And by the way, that's the reason we have 10 commandments, the 10 plagues of Egypt, because we need to fix those 10 energies in the world, 10 character traits, 10 faculties. So without any further ado, let's go to the actual chat. But this is why we're speaking of 10. And every human being has 10 of those tests in his life. He has to fix those 10 and has to come back in this world until he finishes those 10. So Abraham, last test was Akedat Yitzchak. I believe that, there's 2 ways to look at the 10. It goes from Malchus to Keser, from the very bottom of those energies to the top, or from the very bottom Malchus, or for Keser to Malchus, from the top to the very bottom. So 2 ways to go about it. I believe that the last test was corresponded to Malchus. But interesting, right? We say Sof Maseh Machshavat Chila. He says to Avram, Lech Lecha, which here is exactly the same word that was said at the first test. At least according to some, the first test was the one that he says Lech Lecha, he leaves his home. So Lech Lecha, the last test, connects right away to the first one, because then we complete the whole series. Lech Lecha, by the way, is Gematria 100. 100 is like 10. In Gematria, that's how it works. It's like the same as the completion. 10 times 10, basically. But what happens is that, what does Malchus correspond to? Malchus is royalty, right? And by the way, the first one, Keser, is the crown. So the crown for royalty, right? You become royal, you incorporate everything, and then you receive the crown. So the end connects to the beginning. But what's Malchus? Malchus is that tremendous humility that someone needs to have. There was no king more humble than King David. It's dignity, it's being a leader, it's in that sense to be royal. So it's a very strong strand of dignity, but a tremendous amount of humility. And Abraham had to go through this Akedat Yitzchak. What was really his test to connect to Malchus, to fix his Malchus? I want to add to that okay, with Avram was the power of Chesed, right? So it's as if he had to fix those 10 spheres in the area of Chesed. How do you truly love the world, and how do you still bring royalty and justice to the world, and at the same time, how you humble, and at the same time, humble with love? So, like to say, Malchut Shebechesed. What had to happen is that Avram, the whole thing he left at the beginning, Lech Lecha, was fighting in the entire world of Avodah Zarah, a world that believe in something. We know there's a special Yetzer Hara for idolatry. And it's very hard to understand, but we can understand in different areas. People have a tremendous, addiction in different areas. They have desire for sexuality, for food, for material stuff, and many others. And we have to, and it's very hard to understand. And very often we judge people and we say, oh, look at that person, look what he's doing, it's disgusting, And maybe it's disgusting, but do you really understand what that person is going through? So for Avraham to be a real chesed being, for Avraham to be a real lover of humanity and fight with love, fight with truth, with royalty, with humility, what he had to do, he had to do the exact Avodah Zarah of the time, the exact Yetzer Hara. He had to experience what those fathers and mothers experienced when they went to sacrifice their own children. There was a special Yetzer Hara of Avodah Zarah, and that desire was very, very strong. And he had to bring his son and experience that thrill, that high, that passion of offering your own children, which was tremendous, right? We know that there's that desire for people to serve. We look around the world, people want to bring sacrifices. One of the reasons that Jews had to bring sacrifices, it was because to not to fall into Avodah Zarah, where we want to sacrifice things. It's human nature. I want to give a gift. I want to serve. I'm ready to die and to spill blood for someone else, for a spiritual being. To show my love, right? To show my chesed. So there is a part of chesed that is extreme. And Avraham was fighting this Yetzer Hara of Avodah Zarah, that molech, that sacrifice of one's own children, even, which in many ways is a tremendous show of love. And he was there at the moment where he was ready to do it. So he had to, in a way, to leave it and to connect to that. And Hashem say, no, don't do it. At first, it was an angel, right? Hashem, don't do it, Avraham, don't do it. And we know that at that moment, Avraham resisted, meaning he wanted to do it. Hashem had to call him a second time, said, hey, it's not the malach that's telling you. It's Hashem himself. It's me. I don't want you to do such a thing. I see that now you understand the tremendous Yetzer Hara and passion of the times for which you were fighting for your whole life, breaking the idols. Now that you understand what it is, now resist. Now don't do it. Now be careful. And I'm not that type of God that wants you to destroy everything for love. No, I want love through life. But you need to understand, if you want to love the people, if you want to bring back the people from Avodah Zarah, you need to be able to experience what they experience. Because how are you going to fight something that you don't understand? And therefore, we know, for example, today, who are the people, the best teachers, the ones, the therapists for addictions, people who work in rehab. Those are people who were themselves addicted and were able to rehabilitate themselves and stop their addiction. Who are the people who can best advise you and save you and help you, that you're going to listen to? Only the people that you understand you, right? We say, oh, you understand me, now I feel better. If that person understands me or went through the same thing, I feel like support, I feel help, I feel cared of. That's why, same thing, if someone, God forbid, loses a close relatives, like for example, chas v'shalom, a child, it's going to be very hard for someone normal who never experienced that to go and be menachem one's children, and help them feel better. Usually only a person who has lost his children herself will be able to comfort someone who has lost their children, because that person understands, that person was there, that person was in my shoes. So I think that's the tremendous lesson that we learn from Avram. Avram had to experience that Yetzirah, so that he will understand his generation, so that he will learn to truly love and not look down on those people who are running to do Avodah Zarah. Because if you look down on those people, how are you going to make care of them? How are you going to bring them back? Therefore, we also, in our generation, if we want to help others, if we want to bring them back, it's not going to work by just looking down, oh, look what it's doing. Try to understand. Now, obviously, I'm not telling you to put yourself to do the same, going to put same situation, but you need to put yourself in the shoes to understand the people, or send people who were there. In many ways, I could give the example of, well, Baalei Tshuva, they went in the world and they know the struggle, the test of in the world. Maybe a Baalei Tshuva would be the best to make care of the from people the FFBs, who fall into the world of the secular world. And because the Baal Tshuva says, I was there, I'm telling you, it's bad, this is what will happen, this is how I came out of it. So the Baal Tshuva are here to save the of the derech people, right? With love, with understanding. So this is, I think, what's powerful about the Akedat Yitzchak, to understand that in order to truly be royal, to have dignity in what you do, in serving God, to bring God's kingdom on earth, to truly love, you need to be one with everyone, understand the struggle to the deepest part of your being, and appreciate in a way the struggle, like the Zohar says, to give honor to the Yetzirah, to understand how great he is and how powerful he is, and how it's a real enemy of great value, because he enables us to grow. But if we understand him, understand its greatness, its power, then we can best defeat him. And that's what I learned from my Rebbe, to give kavod to one's Yetzirah. And right, that's a tremendous gift given by God, to be able to become great, to become Malchus, to be part of being a soldier of Hashem. So this is what I wanted to share about the Akedat Yitzchak this week. And we see Avram was successful, and he was able to learn that how far the love has to go. It has to be the love where I understand the other completely. So God willing, we should all be able to understand our generation. For the rabbis and the teachers, and the parents should be able to understand the kids, the challenges. And God willing, we'll be able to bring everyone back with love to a place of Kedusha, a place of love, to a place of the kingdom of Hashem, Bezat Hashem. So I wish everyone a beautiful week.